Glidden now moves into his 7th straight final round appearance at the U.S. Nationals.
Bob Glidden want to run over and have a chat with Iaconio. They're shaking hands. Good. These two have had some pretty fierce wars on the starting line. You never know what that confrontation could have been. You didn't let him rush you this time.
Well, I haven't for some time. These daggone guys have been rough on me now.
Used you up.
And Iaconio, I know they're going to leave on their best light when they race me. So all I can do is take my time and do the best I can do.
Bob Glidden, the best he can do, 7 straight times in the finals. He'll be racing one of these two cars. In the near lane, the world champion, the big number 1, Lee Shepard, driving for the team of Rare and Morrison out of Dallas, Texas. Shepard is right on the heels of Frank Iaconio for the points chase. His competition from Westport, Massachusetts, comes Ronnie Manchester. Manchester using the Pontiac Trans Am body. It is Manchester against Shepard in the semifinals, and a red light by Ronnie Manchester. Lee Shepard moves into the finals to race Bob Glidden. So we will have the classic matchup, the Ford versus Chevrolet in the finals at the U.S. Nationals as Bob Glidden goes off against Lee Shepard. But back in the staging lanes, Richard Tharp is getting ready for his semifinal race against Joe Amato. Top Fuel and Funny Car coming up next. The semifinal round of Top Fuel Eliminator at the U.S. Nationals. Richard Tharp from Dallas, Texas against Joe Amato. He comes from Old Forge, Pennsylvania, and both of these drivers are in quest of the very valuable World Championship points that goes with each round win. For Tharp, he is coming on late in the season and is gaining enough points to get into the top 5. For Joe Amato, he's not that far behind the leader, Gary Beck, and a win here would give him a big leg up in trying to move into number 1. A great start for both drivers. They're going down the track side by side, and at the finish line, by a matter of inches, it's Joe Amato. An outstanding 5:65 elapsed time. As we watch again, you could not ask for a more closely matched pair of cars. They leave the starting line and continue on about halfway down the course where Richard Tharp begins to make his move. And then right at the end, Joe Amato pulls it out. As you can see, a 5:65 to a losing 5:66.
Richard Tharp just hollered over. He didn't know who won.
I did. I was ahead, and he made a little move on me about 1,000 foot, and I was just hoping we had enough to hold on. Boy, it must have been like that at the other end. Boy.
About 100th of a second, something like that.
Oh, boy. I knew I had to get a light, and I knew he was going to be there, because he broke the blower in the last round, and he had to put a fresh blower on. But we're just trying to tune it up, maintain consistency, and hope Beck fumbles along the way, because he's definitely got us covered in the ET department. But hopefully he won't, have a little problem. That's all we can hope for now. If we have to go to the next round, we're going to have to step it up a little bit and try and run a 50 and beat him. That's all we can do. 4th consecutive race that Joe Amato has gone into the final round. Let's go back to the starting line and find out who his opponent is going to be.
Well, Steve, we'll know the results of that race in just a few moments. If Joe Amato gets any more excited, we're going to have to nail his feet to the ground to keep him from flying away. Going over and shaking hands with Richard Tharp, comparing notes on that very close race. But it is Joe Amato in the finals of his 4th consecutive race. What a match we have here. Gary Beck leading the points chase. He's been the hottest car all season. He won this race twice before, and young Scott Coletta, the 20-year-old rising star, a valiant effort. But for Gary Beck, a big win as now he continues on in competition. 5.58 his elapsed time, and that will give him lane choice in the final. The racer with a lower elapsed time gets the choice. It will be Gary Beck having lane choice over Joe Amato. On the starting line, the crew's waiting the word to start the engines in the Funny Car semifinals. Kenny Bernstein against his Dallas, Texas good friend Raymond Beadle, the body being lowered down on Kenny's Funny Car, the Mercury body, while Raymond Beadle going through the same procedure. Steve is with Gary Beck.
This is really for more than the U.S. Nationals. It could mean the World Championship this week.
Well, interestingly enough, it wasn't that long ago. Joe and his wife were in my backyard having a barbecue, and we talked about racing in the finals at Indy, and we're just going to do it.
There's your finalist, Joe Amato, Gary Beck. Going to be a beauty.
A very animated Gary Beck, quite happy, a somewhat dejected but yet very proud Scott Kalita at the age of 20, going to the semifinals of the most prestigious race of them all, the U.S. Nationals. This is the semifinals of Funny Car. Raymond Beadle from Dallas, Texas. His good friend Kenny Bernstein in the far lane, also from Dallas, Texas. This is what they call Texas Thunder, the 2,500 horsepower nitro-burning engines. The staging lights are lit and both drivers are ready for the green light. A good start. It's anybody's race at this point. And at the finish line by a half a car length, Kenny Bernstein moves into the finals for the second straight national event in a row. A 5.90 and an outstanding speed over 254 miles an hour. The next car's already started. John Force from Torrance, California is rolling into the water. John in the semifinal round here must win this race to have the right to meet Kenny Bernstein in the finals. Bernstein has been on quite a roll over the last few weeks.
Kenny Bernstein's first words coming out of the car, that was a drag race. And that it was as Raymond Beadle comes over, congratulates his old friend. Kenny Bernstein with a 5.90 goes into the Funny Car final. And you want a little perk, want a little bonus here? You backed up the official national record.
Right.
The speed, 254.
All right, super. That was nice coming.
Doesn't pay anything, but it looks good in the
Doesn't pay
book.
nothing, but that's all right. We'll take it. That was a race. I mean, a race. I knew it was just right there. What can I say? It's going good. One more time, Steve. One more, I hope.
You were right on the light again, too.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the vitamins I took this morning, huh? I don't know.
A very happy Kenny Bernstein. That record that Steve is talking about was a 254-mile-an-hour run set earlier by Bernstein in qualifying. Here's the car of Alan Aronek and Jim Ouimet. Tom Anderson is the driver. He is racing John Force, about as far apart across the country as you can get. From New York State to California, they all assemble at Indianapolis Raceway Park for the U.S. Nationals. And John Force bit by the Christmas tree ever so slightly again as Tommy Anderson. A tremendous start for Anderson, and it paid off at the finish line. Look at the time, 5.86 seconds. He'll have lane choice as he goes into the final against Kenny Bernstein here at the U.S. Nationals. At the U.S. Nationals, a lovely lady and her pet looking on as we get set for the finals in Pro Stock, Funny Car, and Top Fuel. Our first match, the Chevrolet of Lee Shepard, the Ford of Bob Glidden. This is Pro Stock, and this is where the crowd has a chance to root on their favorite. If you drive a Chevrolet, you've got to be thinking about Lee Shepard, the reigning world champion, the team of Rare and Morrison, one of the most successful combinations ever in the sport of drag racing. He is racing an even more successful competitor. Bob Glidden has won 38 national titles in his long career. He is appearing at the U.S. Nationals finals for the 7th consecutive year. Bob Glidden driving the new 83 Ford Thunderbird with a Ford shotgun Hemi for power, 500 cubic inches of Ford, 500 cubic inches of Chevrolet. The cars, 2,350 pounds each with the driver. That's the least they can weigh. And we're into a bit of a staging battle. You heard Glidden talking about it earlier, not getting rushed by Iaconio. Neither driver's getting rushed. Here they're just sitting there. The starter, Buster Couch, looking at each driver, trying to figure out how long can they sit there before he says he's doing it now. He's saying, now's the time, gentlemen. Let's bring him to the line. All the psychological play is over. It is Shepard moving in first. Now here comes Bob Glidden. The RPMs go up, and it's a great start. It appears that Shepard has got a slight advantage, but look at the Ford Thunderbird come on, and at the finish it's Bob Glidden by half a car length. The crew goes nuts. Bob and his wife Etta and his sons worked so hard to get to this point, and now Bob Glidden wins the U.S. Nationals title with the quickest run of the day, 7.68 seconds. His speed, 180 miles an hour. Our replay will show you just how close it is. The two cars coming off the starting lines, the front wheels raising off the pavement, then back down. They settle down with Glidden in the far lane, Shepard in the near lane. It's anybody's race at this point. The power of the Thunderbird starts to come on as they approach the finish line, and Bob Glidden moves through the traps, winning his 5th U.S. Nationals title.
I have never, ever at any drag race heard a crowd roar as they just did for you, Bob Glidden.
Great. Gosh damn it, Steve, we're so happy. I'll tell you, this, when you come through this mess, you beat the Coonses and the Iaconios and the Shepards. We're proud, not just of this, but the family, Etta, and the kids. I've got a kid that's got a leg, he can't even walk on it, and he's been out here working all weekend. Damn it, we're just tickled to death.
And they should be. A tribute to the Glidden clan, Bob Glidden winning his 5th U.S. Nationals title. 1 year ago, Kenny Bernstein and Tom Anderson were racing teammates. They have gone their separate ways. Now they're in the final of the U.S. Nationals. The funny car title on the line. In the near lane, it is Tom Anderson. In the far lane, Kenny Bernstein. They're off the line together. Anderson has to back out of it, and Bernstein pulls ahead. He holds on for the win, and it is Kenny Bernstein, the champion. The crew realizing that in 3 short weeks, Kenny Bernstein has won over $100,000 in cash. Bernstein, the U.S. Nationals funny car champion. Back at the starting line, the engines are started for our Top Fuel final as Joe Amato hopes to keep rein on his emotions and reach the point of concentration where he can duplicate the win he just saw by Kenny Bernstein. You know, Bernstein's got to be a happy man.
The body comes up, soaked with oil. Kenny Bernstein screaming, unbelievable. If you've been following NHRA drag racing over the last few years, you know how hard this man has struggled. How many times he's failed to make the cut, not qualified, occasionally stepping up and winning one of the races, but nothing like this. Not the U.S. Nationals, Kenny. Congratulations.
Me. It's just, I'm speechless. Does that happen, I guess?
That's not you.
No, I know. Phenomenal. Just, it's just 2 days in a row in this thing, the U.S. Nationals. How long has it been? Years and years and years. But boy, a crew, I got to give it to them, Armstrong.
Do it.
The whole weekend, the whole guys, they did good.
And so did Kenny Bernstein, the funny car champion. Here we are, Top Fuel final. Joe Amato in the points chase for the World Championship, racing the man that is currently leading. Gary Beck driving for Larry Minor. He's been the hottest car all year. And it is Beck out first in front of Amato. And the power of the Larry Minor machine carries him to the U.S. Nationals champion. Larry Minor giving a big hug to Gary's wife, Penny, at the starting line. And Gary Beck wins the U.S. Nationals Top Fuel title in fine style with a 5:50 elapsed time. We'll be right back. At the U.S. Nationals, let's go back to the starting line and watch once more the exciting Top Fuel finale. Joe Amato in the far lane, Gary Beck in the near lane, and Beck, with this win, increases his lead in the World Championship points chase. It was a good start for both drivers, but the power of the Larry Minor machine came on at the end of the 1,320 feet, and Gary Beck takes the Top Fuel title, and our congratulations going to all the professional champions. In Top Fuel, Gary Beck, Kenny Bernstein in funny car, and Bob Glidden in pro stock. These 3 champions head the list of winners that took home the lion's share of drag racing's first ever $1 million purse. For Steve Evans, I'm Dave McClellan saying so long from the U.S. Nationals. Brought to you by Goodyear, makers of Wrangler all-season radials for light trucks and Eagle high-performance radials. And by Meguiar's. For over 50 years, Meguiar's quality waxes and polishes have been the choice of car care professionals. And by Motorcraft, quality parts for all makes of cars. Motorcraft exceeds the need. The executive producer of Diamond P Sports is Harvey M. Palish. Produced and directed by John D. Mullen. Promotional consideration provided for and a fee paid by Pontiac Trans Am. Excitement, feel the sting as the road yields to the power and your 83 Trans Am sets you free as only Trans Am can. Pontiac, And by Bardol. After being treated with Bardol, this car was driven 114 miles with no oil in the crankcase. Use Bardol regularly. It could save your engine. And by Christie Brand for cold weather starts to eliminate knocks, wipe out moisture, and move out every time. Look for Christie Brand, the original where you buy auto supplies. And by Schick disposable razors that have a permanent sliding cap and sharp triple hone twin blades for close, smooth, comfortable shaves. The Schick disposable razor. And by Pontiac, check it out, the Pontiac 2000 with 5-speed transmission, overhead cam engine, and electronic fuel injection. All standard Pontiac. We build excitement. Coverage of the National Hot Rod Association's U.S. Nationals has been a presentation of Diamond P Sports.